admissions all the way through career services, and that's actually where my roots are, in career services. I worked in workforce development for like 10 years before coming to Galvanize, but I was drawn to it because there are people that are incredibly brave to make changes in their careers. And tonight kind of marks the start of launching that career. They've been working hard already. And then there's the instructor side of those that support them and the career service folks that help them get there, right? And so I love these evenings. The things that our students can create are incredibly inspiring. It's fun to watch them go through the entire program. And Casey is actually going to give you a taste. He was one of the instructors here that supported students through the program, and so he'll actually give you a taste of that. But before we jump into those things, just a few housekeeping things. You're going to see 7 student presentations tonight. Just behind me, there are some bathrooms. It's kind of casual, so if you need to come and go, grab an extra drink or a snack, feel free to do that. But the presentations will be about 4 minutes each, and then you'll see students switch over and we'll see the next presentation. But before we invite Casey up to tell us more about the program and the students, I would like James to come talk about the wonderful instructors we have that support our students, and especially Casey.
So I didn't think that it would be right to kick this off without saying a few words about Casey. And let me give you like a little insight into Casey himself. When I told him that I wanted to do this, he was like, nah, it's for the students, like it's not about me. And the students that were in the room were like, no, this is how I feel, like it's as much about like you as it is about us. Casey has been asked, like has been given like a massive task. He has filled the role of a lead instructor like a few months after graduating the program himself. The dude is an amazing leader, like a great friend, and just like one of the most like huggable, lovable people I've ever met in my entire life. He can be very strict at times, but for good reasons. And I have seen him take G75 and bring them together as a family, and like as one, and that's crazy to me. So I just wanted to like come out and say like from the bottom of my heart, from the instructor's heart, and I'm sure students can tell you how they feel for themselves, but like thank you for being you and doing what you do, man. Seriously, thank you very much.
Thank you guys, thank you very much. So like James said, like I feel like tonight is not about anything else except for the students. They put in an awful lot of hard work, and to kind of frame that for you, like a little bit about Galvanize. So Galvanize is a web development immersive. What that means is like they are immersed 9 to 5, 5 days a week, not 7, we don't do that. But 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Hitting it hard. They're going to meetups. That's part of the curriculum. But yeah, they're going to meetups. They're having to do job shadows. They're immersing themselves 100% in this tech culture. So it's a really, really cool thing. I think on paper we teach React and Postgres and Connects and a few other things like Express and different things that are on paper, but it goes so much further and deeper than that. And it's really impressive. And along with all that, like giving up their lives for 6 months, like most of the time, it's almost impossible to work through this program. So they're giving up income, giving up time with their loved ones. They're putting themselves 100% into this. And it's really, really admirable and makes it really easy to put yourself 100% into it also. So thank you guys for what you've done. And like like I said, it makes it really easy to get out of bed in the morning to come help you guys out. So that being said, there's just like a lot of future for you guys too. Like I know being around like some of these amazing developers makes you feel dumb all the time. And that's just part of the process. So feeling dumb is something that we've all gotten used to, and then realizing how far you come. That reflection is so important. I know I harp on that all the time, but remembering where you came from and how far you've come is very, very important. And to the loved ones and family members out there, have a lot of respect for these people. They've just killed it. Like, it's very inspiring, and I think you should be inspired as well. So with that being said, without further ado, we're going to bring up Will Ferentz for our first presentation.
Hello. Hi, Will. Will what? Bear with me here while I get set up. Right. Almost there. Good job. My computer's a little old, so it's okay. It's okay.
That makes it more impressive.
Yeah. It interrupted my workflow quite a bit, this last app in particular. Oh my goodness.
It's like a tree. You can still tell from the layers of stickers how old it is.
Yeah, yes, exactly. All right, so we're ready to go here. Hello everybody, my name is Will Ferentz. I'm a full stack web developer, and this is my app, Shelf Life, that I decided to create. So before I get into the demo of the app or anything like that, I just wanted to tell you a little bit of a story about myself. I'm a lifelong reader, super into books. I read about a book a week when I'm not doing this program. In college, I was an English major, and I spent a year abroad in Argentina and Spain. And when I came back, I was feeling a little uneven and kind of disconnected from a lot of my peers around me. So I picked up this book, Anna, and the characters in it and their struggles with life and love really kind of brought me back to myself. And when I finished the book, I was almost bereft. I was like grieving like a loss of a loved one. So what I decided to create was an app that helps you find the next book in your love life. So it's a reading app, and you might think that there's like a lot of reading list apps out there, but they're all the same, right? They have the same functionality. They have a list where you can add books to, you can search books to add to the list, and you can mark them as read. That's pretty much all they got. So that kind of lacks intuition for me. I wanted a more personalized experience. I wanted to build something that kind of feels, for you, right? So I decided to make recommendations, right? So I wanted to give it suggestions when you finish the book. So I'm gonna do a demo here real quick. And this is live on my phone right here. You can see my little app icon there for Shelf Life. So as you can see, I got a couple books already on my shelf here. You can click on them, see a little bit of info about them. As you can also see, I have a thing for dead Russians. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to add a book with the search feature and ISBN scanner. So I have this book right here. It's The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. It's one of my favorite books of last year. And it looks like we have a match, so we'll check out some details here. And there you go. So this is a Google search, Google Books I use for that. And you can see we got two options here. We can add it to shelf, or we can get some recommendations based on this book. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to add it to the shelf. And you can see that it's populated here. That persists. So, but what I wanted to do was solve my original problem, which was find some recommendations for Anna Karenina, which I just finished and I loved. So we're going to get the recommendations out, and we got a couple. So we got War and Peace, also by Leo Tolstoy, Dead Souls, some more Dead Russians, Madame Bovary by Gustave Flaubert, and Big Green Tent, which I feel like is a great spiritual successor to Anna Karenina. So got some nice data here, and it looks like I have some reading to do. So we'll get back into the demo. So a little bit about the app. This is the tech stack that I used. I used Swift on the front end and the back end logic, which is entirely new stack for me. It's totally unfamiliar. And coding in Apple's environment, which is called Xcode, was a huge hassle for the whole week and a half that I was doing it. It was kind of an uphill battle. Realm was used for the mobile database, so that keeps all your books in order. I also use core data, so all that data on your phone persists across devices. So if you get a new device or whatever, it'll be there when you download the app again. And Google Books I use to power the search, and Amazon.com I use to power the recommendations. So some future implementations, I'd like to add a social functionality, right? Like who better to give you a recommendation on a book than a friend? I'd like to add a book, so say if Google Books doesn't have a match for your ISBN, I'd like to have a form so you can take a picture of the cover and add the title, some information. And I'd like to make the recommendations a little bit more powerful. Right now they're a little bit generic just because it's based off of Amazon, but in the future I'd like to group it up, what is in your list, and see recommendations a little bit more personalized. And with that, I'd like to offer you a suggestion. Go forth and read a book. My name is Will Ferens, and that was my time.
Yeah, I also kind of forgot to mention that during this week and a half long process, everybody is also required to teach themselves a new technology. So again, that was a whole fresh new stack. So again, without further ado, we'll go with Roberto.
The magic dog. The magic dog. All right. Woo. Good evening, everybody. My name is Roberto Santos. I am your full stack high altitude web developer. And I am from the little tiny island of Saipan in the Northern Mariana Islands near Guam. And if you've never heard of it, it is because it's way, way, way out in the middle of the Pacific. And I came to Colorado when I was 18 with my family. My mom's family, a lot of them live in the Colorado high country. If you've ever heard of Breckenridge, that's where my grandparents lived, and so we spent a lot of our time growing up there. And if you've ever gone from sea level to 9,000 feet, you know what kind of how taxing it can be on your body. And life at altitude poses some unique challenges for all of us. If all of you have been in Colorado for a while, you know there are some unique conditions. And my mom is a physician, and for the past 8 years, she's been researching growth and development at high altitudes. And for the purposes of our study, high altitude is 2,500 meters or above, which is just above 8,000 feet. And what she's found in all of her research is that children don't grow at the same rates as children at sea level. So children who are born and raised at altitude, high altitudes like these, they often show slower growth periods, but they eventually catch up to their sea level counterparts and often have extended growth periods. They can continue to grow until they're in their early 20s. However, the problem is that these children that are born and raised at altitude with slow growth rates are taken to see doctors by their parents because they're worried that this growth is stunted or abnormal, or even more worried because it might be affecting brain development. So when they take them to the doctor's comparing them to standards that are at sea level. So of course it looks like something abnormal, and they're often diagnosed with what in the medical world is called failure to thrive. And if you've never heard that before, it's almost as grim as the wording suggests. So consequently, doctors are misdiagnosing these children with other maladies and then prescribing inappropriate treatment. And so these kids are being treated for something that they don't even have. What we need is a system through which we can accumulate data that demonstrates growth rates and standards at high altitudes like we do here in Colorado. So I created Thrive app, and what I've done is I went ahead and populated some standards. You can see the line at the top is the 75th percentile, the line at the bottom is the 25th percentile. Within the app, we can add our own statistics. Maybe if you're a parent on one of your sons or daughters' growth rates, and you can populate that, and the chart will dynamically add it. And this, for example, which is a very straight line, very healthy child, falls right between the 75th and the 25th percentile. And so we know that there's nothing wrong with them because we have high altitude standards. I built this using some new technology myself. Angular, the A stands for annoying. It is a front-end framework that just released its 6th version this past week. And I was simultaneously learning it and creating this application. Inside Angular, I had to use TypeScript, which was also unfamiliar to me. In the future, on the front end, hopefully we'd have a more robust user interface. On the back end, I used Postgres, Connects, Node, and Express to build a database. I populated that with actual data from the electronic health record at the clinic that Dr. Chris does her research at. And in the future, hopefully we can customize the back end. We can add more data points, including not only weight, but head circumference, length, weight to length, etc. My name is Roberto Santos. Please feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in connecting over this. If you are interested in hearing more about the high altitude growth and development research of Dr. Chris Ebert Santos, she is in attendance here, and she is very passionate about it, and she'd love to share her findings with you. Thank you.
All right, so next up on deck, we've got Chance Scott Burke.
Other side?
What's up, everybody? My name is Chance, and I am here to tell you about Chance EMR. All right, so who is Chance? Chance, I am a full stack web developer. I'm also a registered nurse. I'm still currently employed by HCA, technically. And I'm a father and husband. I've worked over 8 different hospitals and 5 different EMRs, which is what Chance is all about. So what is Chance? It's the Community Health and Network Connection Environment. And an EMR is an electronic medical record. Roberto actually just referenced that. It's what hospitals, clinics, and everybody use to gather all your information when you're in the doctor's office or the hospital, puts it in a database, and then you can access it from other places. So why would I want to build an EMR? So 2014, there was a federal mandate for all healthcare providers to use a EMR, at least in conjunction with all of their paper records. So hospitals are required to use them. They're extremely expensive. For one hospital, it could cost up to $75 million for them to implement a new EMR. And what I thought about was, what about these small towns who can't afford that kind of money? Independent healthcare providers, such as massage therapists or maybe Eastern medicine providers, anything in that realm. I think there's not much out there for them to use to keep track of all their patients' health records. So let's go ahead and take a look at what Chance EMR is all about. Small Town Health hired me to make this app, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm just joking. That's not good. So here we have our splash page. If you're in small town, and say I work at the clinic and I want to sign in to enter some information on my patients. So I'd go ahead and log in right here. And then I will have a selection of all my patients who are in the waiting room. Let's go over to Chance's. Yeah, so here's all Chance's information. You can access all of it. It's all dynamic information coming from the database. But what if I'm a patient and I want to see that data? So Chance needs to sign in. He wants to go look at all the stuff that the hospital's been recording about him. We got it right here. I can go ahead and sign in. Bam, I'm seeing the same information. I know what the hospital's saying about me. It's pretty awesome. So for a small town health, that'd be a pretty big deal. This would be far cheaper than what all of the more common EMRs would charge a healthcare provider. What tech did I use? I used React.js as my front-end powerhouse. That is also my unique or unfamiliar tech that I used. I started learning React and watching videos the day the Capstone started, which is probably a mistake because it took me about a week to get a handle on it before I could even start writing any code. Front end, we got HTML, CSS, spun up the server in Node, and connected to the database with Connect Postgres. All right, what challenges did I see? Learning React. I already told you about that. That was very difficult for me. Made the time constraint a little bit tougher than I wanted it to. And then unexpected life events that are popping up during the phase of the Capstone. So things that you just don't know are going to happen, and you got to take time to take care of them. And I also found out that EMRs are extremely huge. There's a lot of information that goes into those. So I was very ambitious when this started, and then as soon as I started structuring my database, I realized, oh my gosh, there's no way I'm going to finish this thing. So, my name is Chance. Oh, what future plans before we get there? I do want to add more portals. The only working portals right now are the clinic and the patient. I want to make it so that you can accept payments from your patients or clients through the app, and I want to make it customizable. So if you're a acupuncturist and you just want to keep track of all of your patients' information and accept payments through it, then we can do that too. My name is Chance, and that was Chance.
Hold it over.
Hang on that down.
All right, so we'll keep it rolling. Next up, we got Jordan Smith. Oh! Yeah, all right. Come on,
Maybe not.
Or no. Kick it.
Yeah, give it all like another push.
Let's try it again.
Yeah,
Let's do
baby.
this.
Every time.
Different elbow.
Yeah, the other one works better.
There we go.
You good on
I got you.
Do we just do this?
Yeah, you can present on that side. Jordan, you look great on camera. Web light.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Jordan Smith. I am a full stack web developer. A little bit about myself. A few years ago, I started college at the age of 15 and I graduated with my bachelor's in biology at 19. In the medical field, I realized it's not quite what I thought it was going to be, which led me to Galvanize and ultimately my love for technology. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Another love I have is for a cartoon called Phineas and Ferb. Anyone heard of that one?
Yes.
Yeah. So I want to introduce you to one of my favorite characters. This is Dr. Doofenshmirtz. He is an evil scientist who creates evil inventions that work.
And what he does with all of his inventions, he ends them in nator, which leads to my evil invention, alarminator. So, you want to know why I created this invention? Well, if you're like me, I have about 5 different alarms set every day, which I click snooze every time. It takes me about an hour to wake up every morning. Ugh, it's a problem. So, I figured there has to be a better solution than just setting a regular alarm. Throughout the medical field, you will learn that if you wake up your mind, you wake up your body. So, in my app, I have it to where when the alarm goes off, you will have to solve a problem or puzzle in order to turn off the alarm and stop all the crazy loud sounds and vibrations. So I'm going to show you a quick demo of how this works. And so when the times line up, the alarm will start. So you got a crazy sound. What you don't notice is you also have vibration going on if it was on your actual phone. Another thing, if you type in the wrong answer, you're going to get a nice little message that says, try again, as you will see here in just a second. But if you answer the question correctly, it will turn off all the sounds and take you to the home page. The technologies that I used, the unfamiliar technology was React Native, which is for my front end. On my back end, I used Express and Node.js. I used Postgres and Connect for my database, and I deployed to Heroku. Some of the challenges I had was adding the sound, and then after I was able to get the sound to start, I couldn't get it to stop. Big problem, trust me, especially when you're getting that all the time. Also, keeping my app running in the background. I know that through Apple, it doesn't allow you to do that, especially when you're just creating it. Also, adding different types of puzzles to my database. But for future implementations, I would like to allow the user to add sounds of their own, possibly from their own playlist. I would like to add difficulty levels to the puzzle so that you can choose whether or not you want your puzzles to be really easy or really hard in the morning. And I want to add different types of puzzles, such as more interactive puzzles, more sliding, not just typing in an answer. So if you'd like to contact me, here's my contact information. I'm Jordan. Thank you.
All right, Jordan, stay here for just 1 second. So Jordan pushed herself to finish her degree early, but she also has finished all the graduation requirements for G75. So you're the first one to cross the finish line, so congratulations. You are literally, like right here, see I have your record up? I can graduate you right here. So awesome. We can't wait to see what you do. You keep it up. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to adjust this real fast to get back to the other screen. Winner, I guess. All right, so next up to bat is Sean Simon.
Alrighty, I'm Sean. I have not graduated yet. That's a little hard to follow.
Sean, you're so close.
Cool. Alrighty. So, I'm Sean, and today I'm here to present to you my app, Pay It Forward. A little bit about me. I am a full-stack developer, about to graduate from Galvanize. I'm also a dog lover. I have 2 beautiful wiener dogs at home that I've adopted here from Maximum in Denver, Colorado. Before moving out here, I am originally from California, and I worked as a customer support team for a web-based technology company in adult entertainment. I also consider myself a contributor. And what way, you might ask? I feel really blessed to be here, to be able to take 6 months off, give up everything I have from a monetary position as well as support from my friends and family. And I think it's really, really important to give back to the community somehow. But giving is difficult, whether it's your time, tangible items, things like that. I feel like everybody has come across this problem. When it comes to donating items, we don't know what we have to donate. We don't know if it's valuable. We don't know where to take it. So I figured, why not create a platform that makes it easier for both organizations and the donor? Which brings me to my app called Pay It Forward, which I would love to show you. All right, little splash screen. So, getting started. You can see a list of organizations that I've reached out to here in the Denver area. They're all uploaded into a database, and from here, we'll go with Urban Peak. Urban Peak is a local nonprofit which helps youths between the age of 15 and 24 who are or are about to encounter homelessness. So inside you can see a huge list of items that they've uploaded into the Realm database that they are in need of. So we will go with, see off the top of our head, let's search socks. There we go, socks. So we'll click yes, and Urban Peak is now emailed notifying them that somebody has chose to donate some socks. Let's get rid of that. The technologies I used to make this were Swift for the front end, Realm for my database, CocoaPods, AWS, Xcode, and Core Data to persist data across multiple devices. All of these being brand new technologies that you are not taught here in the 6-month stack. Future. I would love to add a search by zip option so users could search for a specific organization in closer proximity to them. User submissions to these institutions, as well as a drop-off and a pickup option. And ultimately, I would just like to leave everybody with this. Like I said, I feel really grateful to be here. And, I feel like we're all lucky to be here in some sense. And, see what you can do for somebody else. So whether it's donating your time or, snow jacket, something you have laying around, see what you can do to give back. Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to keep it all rolling. We got Jason Michael coming up.
Hello everyone, I'm Jason, and I'm a builder of things. Since childhood, I've always been obsessed with creating things and solving problems. As a teenager, I worked in food service and loved to see all the systems working together in tandem. I was shortly in management, but grew bored without the ability to express myself artistically or intellectually. I love skateboarding and have since I was 12 years old, which led me to building ramps. And by my 20s, I was framing houses. I found that planning, organizing, and executing efficiently was a core skill that I had. So for the next 20 years, I continued to build homes and expand into more quality craftsmanship, all while raising a family and traveling around the country. In my 30s, I also began to vend at several festivals. Eventually, I built and opened my own food trailer. Somewhere in there, I got a computer. And at first, it was just to play media and manage invoices. But this was a game changer. Having the ability to print invoices versus handwritten ones, it made it real and I could charge more adequately. I found a love for computers and software. Then I found the Linux community and the open source community. In my spare time, I began to learn to program and have since dreamt of working with building software with a team. I've since dreamt of building software with a team that had significant impact. With all the things I had going on, I realized I needed to up my skills and solidify my branding. So I decided to make a change and do what I love, and I came to Galvanize. the last 6 months, I've been learning and honing my skills while getting to know some amazing and brilliant people, all along while neglecting to do my taxes. It's not really doing my taxes or paying my taxes as much as it is just sorting through a lot of receipts. A big pile. I have to put them into a pile, another pile, and then sort those piles and put them into spreadsheets, and it's no fun for me. So I came up with Simple Expenses, a free and open source cross-platform expense management software. Here is a live demo. If you come to the landing page, you can immediately just start using the app. Go, upload a receipt. You can crop, rotate, crop, and zoom as necessary to just get the information you need, and then save it to your queue, put your device away, and when you have time later, go back to the queue and transfer all the data from the receipts. It's also mobile friendly, so you can see it very clearly. You can transfer the data from the receipt over here by adding your business in category, which these are available under the user settings. I put some default categories in here that are off a standard text form and then my businesses, so you can edit and remove each one of these or add another one. So I'm going to go back to the queue. You can also delete them if you don't like it. So I'm going to pick one of these and fill it out. Submit it empty. And the queue is now empty. If we go to our list, we can see a list of all the receipts I've added a few prior to, and then you see the one I just added. And then we have the option to view it by thumbnail. You can see the actual receipt, and we can search by any one of the fields. And it will carry over to the list view. Whatever's showing on the list view, you can then export as a PDF. This is one of the best features. Is it separates all your businesses in categories, which is really what I need to do my taxes at the end of the year. You can see I have one receipt under this category for that business, and one receipt for this category, and two receipts for this category. It adds them up. Basically, it just makes keeping track of receipts much easier and eliminate all the unfun stuff. Some of the technologies I used was Vue, Vuex, and Vuetify for the front end, and JS PDF for exporting PDF files. I hosted it on Elastic Beanstalk. It's an AWS service. My backend is hosted with Node and Feathers.js. My database is MySQL. I used Cordova to export the desktop, or I'm sorry, the mobile environments, and Electron to export the desktop environments. Some of the challenges I had was using the same code base for multiple systems, and building the PDF templates was actually a challenge. It's like writing HTML, quite different. And OAuth, I haven't quite got that integrated yet, but in the future, it will be fully integrated, and the user will be able to save their data directly to their own Google Drive, or sign in with their own database, because I don't want to host their data. And the ability to share from a mobile device directly to the app. So you can just, from your gallery, share it to the app, and it will be in your queue later. And then in the future, I plan to add optical character recognition so that the text will be retrieved off of the receipt automatically. I'm Jason. Thank you.
I didn't know you were going to get that last PDF feature, and that's
2 a.m. last night.
That's dope, man. That's super cool. Cool. So we're down to our last contestant here. Last, certainly not least, Seth Caparelli is coming up. Underneath.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Good.
Go!
There you go.
All right.
Hello, everybody. My name is Seth Caparelli, and I'm going to talk to you about an app I created called Boomerang. A little bit about me. I can confidently say that I'm a front-end web developer at this point, but I am and always will be an artist. I got my BFA from CU, studying ceramics, making sculptures such as this, and not making a lot of money as an artist, so I was a bartender for about 10 years. And this is kind of where the idea of boomerangs came into play. In that culture, we have what are called boomerangs, and boomerangs are cocktails that we would send other bartenders through guests. So if we knew a guest was going to a friend's bar, we would send them with the cocktail, and eventually that cocktail would come back in a different form through what they created. So why boomerang? I think a lot of people like to celebrate without actually being there. So a lot of people would call in wanting to buy a bottle of wine or a cocktail for the friend that was celebrating something. There was definitely a camaraderie that we experienced as bartenders. It became a game of like passing boomerangs back and forth. I think this is a great way for users to explore more bars and restaurants. So we'll get into a little demo here. So this is the landing page. User will sign up with Facebook. Facebook provided me with a lot of the information that I need for my database, such as email, name, picture. In the future, I'd like to get a little more authentication going, but I'm a newbie here, so nothing's populated. I don't have any followed spots or any bars, no friends. So I'll go in here. These are all the listed bars. There's the location. We're going to add Denver Beer Company, it's nice and close, and there we have it on the map. Time to get some more friends. We'll go here, add myself as a friend because I'm cool. We're going to add our friend here, and then eventually we can get in and see that, yes, we are populated. And then this is where you can add the boomerang, so you can see their followed spots, Denver Beer Co. And then what kind of boomerang do they offer? A beer for $8. Let's do that. I'm going to send myself that. Boom. Success. And then into boomerang. So this is where all the boomerangs come in. It's listed who from, where to. We can see the location if we want to. Yep. There it is. And then we'll redeem it. So the QR code is what you present the bartender or server. They scan it, and you receive your boomerang. Some of the challenges I encountered while creating this app, React Native is a little hard, especially working with Apple. They don't like to play together. Facebook auth is a little difficult, got past that. And then the geolocation was a little difficult just to get the current location. Some of the tech that I used, React Native on the front end, MongoDB for the database, Express and Node to deploy the server, AWS to store my pictures, and then I use Axure. It's a prototyping program that most UI and UX design professionals use. The future of Boomerang. Definitely want to incorporate some push notifications so that you are able to see when somebody sends you a boomerang. Google Auth, because not everybody has Facebook. Eventually a restaurant side app for the restaurant or bar to incorporate. A chat function to talk between friends, and then eventually Android development. Thank you very much. Feel free to connect with me here. Thank you.
You want your leave it. This is where you can find Seth. The most FaceTime here for sure. Hey, so that kind of wraps it all up. Again, I just want to express like how proud I am and like humbled I am to be a part of like the development of all you people and like how far you've come. I wish everybody could see like the code involved and like all the things that go on. It's like a 4-minute thing. I don't think there's justice at all. It's really some incredible things that happens in a week and a half. I want to express a week and a half. They did all those amazing things in that long.
Give it up one more round of applause for these. Feel free to hang out, chat a little bit with all of us, talk a little bit about our technologies and all the things that we've done around here at Galvanize. Thank you all for coming. Have a wonderful evening. Be safe, be good.
You're the best. No, you are.